Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jamar, and today we're answering the question, when is it time to upgrade your gear? So, for me, there are really four main questions that you need to ask yourself before you go out and buy that new camera, lens, light, monitor, anything that you do. The first question you need to ask yourself is if the gear that you're currently using is limiting your creativity. To give you a quick example of like the thought process that I had, I used to shoot Nikon and I wanted to get in video. Everybody knows Nikon's back in the day, back in like 2018, Nikon's autofocus wasn't the best in the industry. And that to me was like a real pain point of like me wanting to get into video because I didn't have the confidence that I needed to have to be able to rely on Nikon's autofocus 100% of the time, even when I couldn't pull focus. So I took it upon myself to say, okay, it's probably going to be a wise decision for me to upgrade into a whole completely new system than to sit here and try to, I guess, push past the pain points of Nikon's autofocus. If you don't have as much confidence in the gear that you're currently using to be able to continue to do what you're trying to do, it's probably time to consider thinking about either switching to a completely different system or upgrading to another camera, because we all know each camera has its limitations. And when those limitations start to hinder you to the point where you don't want to create or you're not comfortable or trying to create, it's probably time to think about getting a new system or a new gear. The second question you need to ask yourself when thinking about upgrading gear, is there a specific use case for the gear that you want to purchase? For example, say you wanted to get a drone. If you're a photographer and you don't do aerial footage or aerial coverage of like real estate, houses, things like that nature, there's probably no reason for you to have a drone other than the fact that you just want it. Granted, wanting it is sometimes a legitimate reason, but if there's no specific use case for the item that you're getting immediately, or there's not a demand or a need for that item right at this moment, you probably shouldn't get it. So make sure you think about, is there a specific use case for the gear that I want to purchase? The third question you need to ask yourself when thinking about upgrading gear, is the gear you currently have costing you more than it's worth? Now, Jamar, what does that mean? Let me break it down for you. If the camera that you have now is costing you jobs to where the specific client wants a specific feature in a camera and you can't provide that, it's probably time to upgrade. For example, say that a client wants to hire you to be a DP and they have their own editor, they have their own everything else. All they need you to do is operate the camera. But you don't have a camera that can shoot in log, that has time code, that has built-in ND filters. If you don't have any of those things, you're probably not going to get that job. And the camera you currently have is costing you money. So that to me is a really good indicator that it's probably time to upgrade gear. Keep in mind, this is something that can probably happen later down in your career and you won't really see at the very beginning, but it's still something to keep in mind that, yeah, if your current gear is costing you gigs and costing you money, it's probably time to upgrade. The last thing you need to ask yourself when considering upgrading gear, how badly do you want it? Now, yes, we all, even myself, we've come to a point where we just want something so bad that it's fixated in our mind and we can't think about anything else other than getting that one thing. And if that's the case, you should probably get it. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you not to get it if you really, really want it that bad. But also keep in mind, can you afford it? Does it fit in your budget? How can you recoup the money that you spent on these things? These are also a lot of things that you have to keep in mind. But if you really, really want something that bad, you'll do whatever in your mind to justify getting that item or making that purchase. So I'm not going to sit here and stop you. If you want it that bad, go get it. More power to you. I hope you found this video helpful. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.